Hi Pisces, here's a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2012, and this is in two parts. This is part one. Also, you might quite like to listen to the other video I did for all of the signs called The Shift 2012, which tells a little bit more about what's going on in the background, vibrationally speaking, with the further flung planets and other aspects going on in the sky. Now, for you, Pisces, Venus and Mars are going to be in very long transits, and Mars is going to be in your opposite sign until July. Venus is going to be in a strong angle to your sun sign, lighting up your area of home, family, neighborhood, community relationships, making it perhaps a more sociable, easygoing sort of place. Or you're more the visitor in other people's places. You should feel generally happier and more in balance at the root of yourself, about the place, a good place you are inside, because the environment tends to be more to your liking over this phase. And then Mars will stay in Virgo in your opposite sign until the 4th of July. So that means that love relationships or work collaborations could really take off or really be very productive. And this is a long transit, and so it's you can be a dynamic duo with someone in a professional or personal sense, and the indications are that you can be very productive and cover a lot of ground. Maybe more physical energy is going into cooperative action. So it might be with another person, but it might be not be with a person. It might be around animals or some project that you're in a very strong relationship with. It might be like that. And anyway, the sort of the headline is that you and someone could be hitting it off a big style, and like I say, get a lot done together. Grumbles, as there can be with Mars, which is can be a bit feisty, a bit impatient, not looking before it leaps energy. So sometimes there can be tension between you and another, whether that's your horse, your dog, or your colleague at work. So grumbles should be aired and addressed. And I was just thinking about how you do that with your dog. But yeah, I know how you could do that. Yes, definitely. Because they feel what we're saying, don't they? And also, if you project a picture very strongly towards an animal, mental picture very strongly towards an animal, that animal will pick up telepathically that picture. I've tried it, several times, and it works. Anyway, so you should try and keep lines of communications open between you and whoever you're collaborating with, or who is close in your life. Air them, address them as and when they arise, and you can really do well. You can really do business together. Something around the father energy is perhaps being triggered as well this year, partly by Venus in that sector of your chart, but also when Jupiter comes in there. But it doesn't look bad, it looks okay. Now then, Neptune, your ruling planet, this is the big headline as well. Neptune is coming back home. It's coming back into your sign, Pisces. And that will happen from the 4th of February, and it will be in there around about 15 years. Now, one way this may influence you is that it's going to be bringing out more of your Piscean traits, or your Piscean characteristics are going to be more magnified. So, that can mean amazing things like your second sight, your artistic ability, your imagination. It doesn't have to be all of these things, but or your healing ability, your soothing, caring side, your compassionate heart, your sacrifice for others, as long as you don't overdo it and you look after yourself. But also your tendency to escapism, your tendency to addiction and self-delusion, and putting on the rose-tinted spectacles. So it could bring out more of that, especially for you early Pisceans, because Neptune is going to be moving very slowly over the years through your sign. So it'll be for you earlier Pisceans, but the pulse will be felt throughout the whole of the sign, I think. So it's always up to you how you play that Neptune card. In fact, you could say that for all of the planetary vibrations that kind of come through us, you know, and how we channel them and how we use them. So Neptune can be about sacrifice and distorted perceptions and fantasizing and being ungrounded, you know. But also it can be about healing and a compassionate heart as well. Funnily enough, celebrities often have sort of, you know, people in positions of rulership or power, like politicians or royalty. They often have strong Neptune because Neptune distorts perception, not only from you outwards, but from them out there towards you. So that means that us, the public, don't see them as they really are. You know, we see that we do this projection that they are the heroes and the heroines and the super beings. You know, that they are thinner and more beautiful or more glittery or cleverer or sing better or whatever. And we just put them there. And we don't see them as they really are, as ordinary, fragile human beings, warts and all, like you and me. So this is the Neptune effect. It's glamour as well. So being put on a pedestal and worshipped and not be seen for who you really are, or on the other flip side, not being appreciated for your real worth and really sort of put down and overlooked and ignored, and both of which can feel equally as phony and as disappointing, you see. So anyway, you may have allowed others to lean on you more, or you may be allowing others to lean on you more, but just make sure you separate the needy from the greedy, okay? You can do wonderful things with this transit of Neptune, but definitely keep at least 1 foot on the ground and work very hard to keep it real and maintain your identity. Also, you know, this is a great time to be working with the law of attraction, particularly you earlier Pisceans, where the energy is stronger, because it's almost as though you can have a vision, you can set a vision up in your mind, and you are very good picture makers, Pisces, and then project that into your future and make it come true, make it come real, and you know, attract the right relationship, attract the right job, attract the right place to live, whatever it is, attract the right health for yourself or for somebody else, whatever it is, and and you can do very, very well for that. But of course, with Neptune around, you've got to be real with yourself and be honest with yourself about, you know, what that truly is and what you truly want. Now, Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be in Taurus in a very good angle to your sun sign until June the 12th. This is a very sociable sector. You can be in quite an upbeat mood with Jupiter here, and you just begin to see a range of happier options appearing, you know, all around you, kind of like bubbles popping up on a daily basis, or maybe, you know, not on a daily basis, but there's just this nice kind of upbeat vibe around, because it's in the area of your chart to do with how you think, and also daily encounters as well. So you can be learning a lot through daily encounters, but also jolly Jupiter, you know, he's very ebullient, he's very positive. So Jupiter, mental well-being, but general well-being, but it's kind of more mental well-being, could influence you into a more outgoing, positive frame of mind. And, you know, there could be a busy hub of activity going on from your base of operations, or not very far away from your base of operations, lots of chatting, phoning, you know, internet stuff, Skyping, comings and goings as well. A little bit more travel, you know, is possible. It could be one of those things, it could be all of them. At times, it's quite a long transit. Also very good for getting on a course, going in for some training, very good for information, being very much in the flow of information exchange, negotiating, very much for getting, networking, getting into something to do with the internet, connecting with others, developing your skills in speaking, writing, or any other form of creative self-expression. And communications are going to be a huge keynote over this period here, but you can really expand and reach a wider range of people as well. But keep your ear to the ground, listen for feedback, monitor, if you are going that way. So meeting and greeting more is likely, just in your locality, or in not your locality, but you're in a locality which is alien to you, because there can be more, as I say, toing and froing, you're slowly, Jupiter will be carving out new pathways in your mental landscape. You could be connecting as well with foreigners too, or people who've just got a very, very different slant on things to you. It's a great period for you to be channeling your thoughts and intuitions to help others, or to help you assemble the pieces of the jigsaw into the bigger picture, because you're going to have this ever-expanding mental map, I think. So your awareness and your knowledge base, and maybe a database, maybe a territory is going to be expanding quite a lot over this period here. And yes, and it looks altogether a good thing. And then and that's all of the sign of Pisces going to feel this over 2012. And then from June the 12th to June 2013, so June the 12th, 2012, June 2013, Jupiter moves into an area highlighting expansion related to the home base, property, also your emotional sense of well-being and where you're anchored within. This is an area of your innermost being, and it's really good to have Jupiter here, I found over the years. So this is going to help with your innermost sense of security. You could relocate to somewhere you prefer. You could have access to somewhere you prefer. You could be toing and froing. It could be instilling more of a sense of balance, security, rootedness for you emotionally, and also with someone as well. That's another way it can be working. Externally, your comfort zone, family or community relationships should be improving. Maybe you're expanding your space. Maybe you're adding an extension. Maybe you're just in a space which is bigger. Maybe there's more people coming into your space. Or maybe it's like what I'm doing here. You're connecting with lots and lots of people from your space. So Jupiter's about expansion. So there's lots of ways that this Jupiter energy can be expanding things at the very foundations of your life. And over this period, Jupiter could bring in more travel. Again, Jupiter loves travel, more connections with those foreign cultures. But also, you're learning a lot through what's going on right in your own backyard, or not very far away, or over the wires from home. Because Jupiter is the planet of learning through doing, you see. It seems good. And you Pisceans born until the 8th of March, or with up to 70 degrees of Pisces rising, are likely to feel the vibration mostly over 2012. Saturn is still in Libra, and it will be there until the 6th of October, when it moves out and goes into Scorpio, which is in a much better angle to your sun sign. For the time it has left, it is going to you'll have to continue to meet the challenge of how to get along with associates or partners or colleagues, even though they have a very different take on things, but they got semi-control. You see, you don't have the overall control there. Sometimes values can clash, you just got to integrate it. You've got to find this, you've got to find a win-win solution if you've got a willing opposite number. But it might just be an outside agency. It might be to do with money. Might be a bank, or a mortgage company or something like that, or some other type of corporation. So you can't really speak sense with them, can you? Well, it's not easy because of like being kept on hold and not being able to get hold of anybody that has got any much power, really. So it might be like that. So with this long transit, you could get yourself in a financially better place and materialistically better place and emotionally, therefore, better place. But you need to be a bit canny. You need to research. You need to be a bit shrewd. And because you're probably stuck within the parameters of some kind of contract or agreement. It might have been from a long time ago. It might not. So within the parameters of that restriction, which maybe, cramps your style a little bit, you can find a way, and slowly the gears shift into their new positions. So you might have to go outside of it or round it, so that you create engineer for yourself an area where you have got overall control and say, whether it is to do with finances or an interest you have on an activity or a project or the way you work. That is your territory, that's your little bit there. You Pisceans born 11th, well actually you Pisceans born from the 11th to the end of the sign, around about the 20th of March, or from 21 degrees of Pisces rising going through the energy burst, I think in 2012. And then, as I say, from 6th of October, Saturn moves into Scorpio for 2.5 years. And that's a fellow water sign, and that puts it into a supportive aspect with you. And you earlier Pisceans, born up till the end of February, or with up to 11 degrees, round about there, a Pisces rising will feel the vibration mostly from October onwards. Or from late October onwards. Saturn will be in a Scorpio, and that for you is about communications, higher education, academia, an intellectual effort made for some reason, whether it is for learning new stuff or teaching new stuff. It can be to do with legal matters as well sometimes. It can be with long distance connections, foreign cultures, travel and the like. But you're thinking bigger, but working quite hard to, in an intellectual sort of a way, but also working quite hard to expand the stage across which you can be connecting with others or communicating, being in this sort of interchange of information exchange, integrating new understanding of concepts, language maybe, jargon maybe, like HTML, it could even be, or some other kind of language or code, belief system, and definitely speaking and writing, of course, developing an ideology, developing an understanding of a field of knowledge, and anything will be gradual, like, taking a huge chunk of stone and slowly chipping a shape out of it. So you're just going to have to be consistent and patient always, wherever Saturn is. And one way or another, a different dimension will open up to you. It's slowly through unfamiliar places, people, unfamiliar concepts, those with a very different mindset or background or slant on things to your own. And you'll learn a huge amount from any of that type of thing. There's the gist of it anyway. You Pisceans born up until the 28th of February, or with up to 11 degrees of Pisces rising, will be feeling this vibration mostly in the latter part of 2012. And Uranus moved out of your sign in March and went into Aries, but I'll be speaking about that in part 2, so hopefully I'll see you there. Hi Pisces, this is part 2 of your overview for the whole of 2012. Now Uranus moved out of your sign in early 2011, and will now be working from Aries for 7 to 8 years, and this is gradually changing the way your finances will be working. It will, in some instances, bring uncertainty, and sometimes destabilization. It will be experienced as that, but actually what Uranus is about is change. So as long as you accept that change is inevitable with this transit of Uranus, and at the moment it's affecting you earlier, Pisceans, then you can roll with it and be ahead of the game because you are already choosing to instigate change. Earning money in a completely different way, or just tweaking things a little bit. It can be about money, or it can be about your general basic material security, the real basic stuff. So if you're open-minded and willing to try new ways of thinking, new methods of working, and getting into something maybe a bit more techno, unusual, that's kind of got an edge to it, that people are, interested in maybe, or something that is for you fresh and stimulating and inspiring, in no matter how small a way. It might just be a new piece of kit, but that kind of meets the criteria, you see, of Uranian energy. And then Uranus can really deliver in a kind of really positive way to underpin this basic material area of your chart. And if you are true to working in a way which is maybe more stimulating to you, which is fresh for you, or which is like not your day job, but like something you're doing on the side, which is innovative, complementary, alternative, like renewable energy and that sort of thing. It could be lots of other things. Then, or anything that you previously put on the back burner of your life because, at the time it wasn't the right time to be progressing with it. This as well could come into the front burner of your life now. And you could capitalize upon that. So it's time with Uranus here to capitalize on anything which is maybe a little bit wild or a bit odd or a bit from the past that you wanted to try. And it's definitely a time for you to be using your talents and turning those into skills, which again gives you something unusual. And maybe that's not just talents, maybe it's some other asset which is right under your nose, or maybe not right under your nose, but something there that you can really turn to your advantage. And just remember that quirky and irreverent is Uranus's thing, along with lots of other things like space travel and aliens and or interplanetary beings, and crop circles and wind turbines and anything to do with the internet and anything techno and anything scientific. So it just favors cutting edge stuff, and if you take that on board, then you could do okay with Uranus here in this long transit. And it'll be affecting you Pisceans who are born in the first, just over the first week of, I would say 9-10 days of Pisces, or up to 9 degrees of Pisces rising. And now Pluto is in Capricorn, and that means it's helping to regenerate you through the people you know. So that will be friendships, that will be associations that you have, maybe in a personal or professional sense. That'll be a social circle. That'll be a group of people. It's about the collective. So it can be over the wires through the internet as well. So it can be a small group, like, a family unit, or it can be a very, very large group. So it can be any range in between clubs, societies, and in general, it's in a very positive aspect to your sun sign. So there will be a subtle gear shifting to do with social circle, people you know, Old doors will close, new doors will open, an old order will crumble, the decks will be cleared, and then there will be a new dawn through friendships, through social life, through networking, through, certain societies and clubs and so on. Might be through something political, actually, through a collective of some kind which wants to bring about change in society, or through a collective of people who work together in a sort of cloistered bubble somewhere or other, like, an institution or a hospital or a centre of some kind. And you could have quite a lot of power wherever Pluto is, so actually a collective could have quite a lot of powerful effect on you, but also you, with how you communicate, can have a powerful effect upon them. It depends on, where you are in your life and which way how you would like to harness this energy. There are 2 solar eclipses in 2012. One is May the 20th and the other is November the 13th. November the 13th. And the first one's in Gemini, 0 degrees of Gemini. That will send out a pulse of energy over coming months to help you to make the changes necessary to improve things at home, or with family, or with property. So domestic setup, buying, selling property, renting, leasing property, maybe improving your space in some way as well. And you'll feel it's important to perhaps take the initiative to make a change there. So the energy of change will be very much affecting you there. And the second one is in Scorpio, in a very good angle to your sun sign, and it'll send out a pulse of energy over coming months, helping you to make changes by, in fact, getting, having a change of scenery around you, getting out of the ordinary rut, mentally, physically. So that could mean travel for some of you. That could mean, just taking a break. That could mean definitely mixing with different types of people, maybe from foreign lands, but also with people who are just very, very different to you. And could teach you a great deal. And during that period there, you can really you can make plans and project your dreams into the future. So now you might want to know about Mercury retrograde times, so I'll just bring that one back, which I threw away. Mercury goes retrograde every year about 3 times for 3 weeks, and this year is no exception. So the first one is March the 12th to April the 4th, Pisces Aries. The next one is July the 14th to August the 7th, that's Cancer Leo. The next one is November the 6th to November the 26th, and that's Scorpio Sagittarius. So I expect I'll be mentioning those again as the year unfolds. And also you might like to listen to the forecast for your rising sign and your moon sign and just see if that makes any sense. They'll be on here all year, so you can go back to them and see if there's anything on there that is helpful to you. I can only give you the gist of things. And also you might like to listen to the video, The Shift 2012, because that's got a little bit more on it about, the backdrop for us all over this coming year, which is going to be a very important one. And there's going to be some quite dramatic events at times, I think. And that's it. I wish you well, and I will see you the next time. Take care.